Gotta keep a close eye on them, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, we have all our new little babies that we've started, our earliest ones that take the most time to germinate. These are artichokes and celery takes about 90 days. Being that it's our third season and get to stay, we are planting perennials. You got an owie? Oh, you're bruised. Yep, what do we do? Just rub some dirt on it. It's the farm way. Want to see how fast you can go?
These baby goats
Go ahead, Jaden.
are so small and cute.
We just have these for the farm, so we'll take them out to the field and they'll eat all the weeds and then poop and pee, and then we'll move them with an electric fence through and incorporate them in our crop rotation. The place that we started on was full of kochia, and it was all me learning how to farm and grow food anyway. I tried to keep a clean farm. I wanted the whole outskirts like clean and looking nice, and then through some research and learning about living soils, and really it's okay that they're there. As long as something's growing, that's still feeding the soil, that's still a living soil. The soil wants that. So you don't want bare ground ever. It dries, it loses all its nutrient value, the biology dies, and so you have to reintroduce that. So what we want to do is be living soil farmers. And so that's just gonna sequester the carbon, and that's what we need to regenerate. It's a small piece of land that we're just trying to create a natural ecosystem to where it just works for the environment and for the food that we put out for the community. It's working. I see it working. So it's that's why I'm excited for this third year soil. Yeah. We moved here from Albuquerque, New Mexico in 2012, July 29th to be exact.
We had a friend that convinced us to come and check Grand Junction out. So after visiting a couple of times, we decided, yeah, this is where we wanted to raise our kids as opposed to Albuquerque. Came here like gypsies, no job, no place to live, but a whole lot of desire to not be where we were.
We had no idea what we were getting into when we got here. We were just trying to find our way to be happy and like teach our kids, really. Community was a very important part of what we wanted to try and find. We didn't know that, I don't think. We learned that. So that was the goal. We had no idea we'd be farmers or farming or no. Just really trying to find a job for the first year. Really, it's kind of how that happened.
The opportunity we found here is not about money, but certainly we feel rich beyond what I've ever hoped for, would dream for in life. I wouldn't be that selfish and greedy to wish for what I feel like we have here.
2015 is when the farm started. The first year, I would say, was just me learning, first of all, how to even grow food for 17 people. Because it was 17 packs of seeds, which turned into 17 CSA members, and a small little farm stand in my driveway. We weren't working together yet. Yeah. He didn't know he was going to be a farmer until 2017, until I told him.
Farming together is something we've certainly learned a lot how to do with each other. There's nothing better than to be spending the day that you work with your best friend. There may have been a tear or two along the way, which the okra, remember the okra?
Oh.
She cried over okra like 3 times in 1 year.
The okra failed, and I love okra. And I tried, and I replanted, and then it died again, and then something else happened again. It just died. It just kept dying. I was so sad. I cried. I was like, the okra.
I'm getting ready to leave to go to work on the river, and
I had to call him.
she's in tears. I'm like, what's wrong? My 3rd planting of okra.
I can't do this okra. It's heartbreaking. But we've learned. Yeah, we've learned. We've experienced some different lands through our experience in farming. In working together, we've also started from scratch 3 farms. This is our 3rd farm. We have a little sign that says 3rd time's the farm. So some very different lands, soil medium, living situations from a 5-bedroom house in the Redlands, which we feel like is the fanciest part of town. That was our first farm, to like a literally off-grid, living in a camper in a hole by a creek for a couple years, and then to this like magical space that we now live in.
No, it's not instant gratification in any way, but man, it's laying a foundation and it's building blocks and relationships and friendships that make this life truly amazing.
It's true. We grow some good vegetables around here. We eat really good, but the community we've grown here, I just feel like it's the top 3 of our growing benefits. It's community.
Typing stuff to make stuff work. That's the extent of that's pretty much coding.
I have terrible with names, Martin.
My name is Paula Rowlands, and we have been in the Grand Junction area in the valley for about 8 years. We moved from Michigan, and when we lived there, we were members of a CSA. A CSA is Community Supported Agricultural Farm. You are a part of the farm in that you buy a share, and over the course of the season, you get a part of that share as the harvest comes in, so you take your chances along with the farmer. The first farm that Dawn and Brian had was a ranch home with a big backyard. They were conditioning the soil. Everything was new. They didn't have all the equipment that they have now. They didn't know how to do some of the stuff. But the soil was terrible. They were amending the soil constantly and trying to figure out how to amend the soil so they could grow better. There was a risk of bears, they were trying chickens, all sorts of stuff. They were renting, and then they kind of rented up till this 3rd farm. And it worked, but it was a pretty tall order to turn that into a farm.
My name is Paul. I'm married to Bee, and we live here in Grand Junction.
There were some other farmers that they were working with that first year, and I kind of knew them, and then I kind of known Brian from Powderhorn, but yeah, we got an invite to give a share, and it's been amazing to watch their journey. From 3 farms, like moving farms. It's incredible. It's so much work, and it's so much heartache.
Yeah. And then it gets bigger and better every year. It's pretty incredible to watch that.
I mean, we were even noticing like how many birds and butterflies and moths and insects are out in the fields. It's inspiring for sure, and it has. It's grown. Like the love has grown, the farm has grown.
I'm Jamie Wood.
I'm Courtney Wood.
We moved from California, and we had been a part of a CSA out there. And so when we moved here, it was like kind of on my list. Like I wanted to find one.
We were new to the valley, so we didn't know anybody, and we went over and joined right away. They were producing good food, organic produce, and that's what we wanted. My first impression was it was a small project at that time, but what they were trying to pull off was a big deal.
My My first impression was this farm needs a lot of work. It didn't look like a big garden. They proved us wrong with fresh produce that first year.
This is my first harvest of the season though. So excited to be out here doing this again. I love harvesting tomatoes mouse. My jam. Our CSA pays for our production costs. Early in the season, that's what you need, is that income capital to go on and buy your seeds and buy your amendments and buy your other things. They paid for me to, I guess, clean my yard all day, so thanks everybody. You know, we make some profit. That's how we get by. It's a lot of pressure to make sure that all these people have food every week. We're getting better at it. Like this week, I'm sad that they won't have our salad blend because that's like our jam. People just sign up for that, if nothing else, really. Whatever, they'll get it next week and they'll get it until the end, so it's just a thing. They'll get more delicious greens. But that's part of being the shareholder and taking that risk for the farmer. Yes, everybody's in it together, and good or bad. There's been years that I had to go make apricot jam and zucchini bread for my members because I didn't have very much to give them as far as their farm share, but you know, it is a cool dynamic, and I don't know, they're some of the greatest people I ever met, these people that have been with us. Every year I get new friends and new people. I get a lot of return members too, just because they've been here through the whole thing and seen what's gone down and how many times we've moved and kept going, and they're just still there to support us. And yes, they do love the veggies too. But
I met Dawn through another friend, and I instantly bought a share. I was so excited about it. I feel like I get more out here than what I give. It means a lot to me.
when you start a farm with 17 packs of seeds in your pockets and your fingers crossed, you hope that some people want to come and help you. So that's how this volunteer program started. We are a volunteer-based farm, and we offer food shares. So you come out 4 or 8 hours a week and you get a half share or a full share. They feel like they benefit so much when they leave here. So they are always pretty stoked, and then I'm also pretty stoked. The community that has grown, they're like our best friends. We talk to these people and get to be a part of their lives, talk about their food and what they're doing with it. The most beautiful thing is like when the kids go home and make something to eat and bring it to pick up their farm share. And they brought it for their farmers because they made it carrot cake out of their carrots last week. These kids grow and these families flourish and their lives evolve.
Hi, big fella. Hello there, big fella.
He's huge.
I know.
He's 4 pounds lighter.
You know, this community, when it first started, we had a couple friends, Steve and Bonnie, that would come out and help us move dirt and help weed. And so it started with kind of those couple of friends helping out. We had a small membership group. A lot of them came back for the second season, which was awesome and maybe unexpected. Great friends.
My name is Gwendolyn Sessions. I was a paramedic firefighter in the valley, and then I went to river guiding, and I met Brian at Rimrock Adventures. Brian told me about Dawn wanting to start a farm and to share. I could just tell she wanted to work hard and make something happen. I am in love with this farm. I'm invested as a proprietor of the farm, so I believe in them that much, yeah. Just being with them becoming best friends with them and believing in them, their work ethic and their organic farming. I couldn't bear to watch them lose another farm. They had lost 2 already and then had the rug pulled out from under them. And that was just about to happen again. My husband and we just got together and we decided that we're not gonna let that happen again. So we bought this farm so that they can put their roots in here and grow and sink concrete and whatever and know that it's never gonna get taken away again.
We feel like we're always getting the better end of this deal, and people love to come out and do what I think maybe is in a lot of our DNA, and that's to be providing and producing something and being in the dirt and being grounded. And we've had some really tough times where we didn't know this farm was going to continue. And the people that we have in our lives, they may not even know it, but they pulled us right through, made us stronger in times that didn't look very good for GJ Farmstead. For us to say we've built a community is not the case. This farm wouldn't be without the community that's really rallied around us.
They've definitely carried us through all the things that we were. There was a couple times I was just like, I don't know if I could do that again. And they said, yes, you can, and we'll help you however we can, and they did, and they have, and that's why we're here today. And we're literally putting down permanent roots. That worry's been lifted from our shoulders about having to move or leave or start another farm. The community has put us where we're at. I will continue always, as long as I am able to work hard for all of them. And pay it back somehow. I'll feed them real good. That's what I'll do. Find their way through to their heart through their stomach is what I heard. It's true. Yeah, it is true.
It was a hay farm before you had it, right?
Yep, this is grass pasture. You know, 3 years ago, our first planting here was a little scary.
It was a nightmare.
Didn't go so great.
It was so scary. It was clay. It was something we had never worked with before. It didn't want to hold any water. It dried up in 5 seconds of wind. Very trying. And this year, I got to grab a clump of soil and see the organic matter, see the change. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So the 5 soil principles that we follow are keeping the ground covered. The best coverage is with a green plant, a growing plant that's got roots in the ground. We want animal intervention. For us, compost that we make from our farm animals to then feed the soil.
No tilling. We don't do
That's
any
right.
tilling.
Minimal disturbance. So we don't till. We use a broad fork to get aeration into the soil, but we're really depending upon that soil structure to stay intact, as opposed to a convenient method of farming which turns that soil over, breaks it into nothing. So it's real easy to then work and plant. Diversifying what's going in that soil, having a real diversified crop, which those keys have us now for our first time working on our 3rd year soil that we've been working on.
What do you think about this farm?
So, this farm, it always has beautiful plants. And it also has onions. We grow healthy food, and that is what we use for compost, for our people, and for the share.
Have you met any good people from this farm?
Yes, I have. I met Captain, and lots of people, lots more people. Would love to share more with you, but I will. So we have a lot of members, and these members are really cool and nice, beautiful. They wear nice dresses and everything. I put plants in the ground because I take care of the cute little plants when they're tiny and small. I like plants like carrots. Carrots are nice and yummy, so that's why I plant, because I care about every plant in the whole entire world. We need to stop letting people put trash on the earth, because trash doesn't make Mother feel good. She makes her feel sick.
This farm has kind of taken us for the ride. You know, I'd be lying if I said that we set out to do what we're doing today and what we're moving forward trying to do, because that wasn't it. But what's brought me into regenerative agriculture is the sheer knowledge that, you know, we've only got so much arable land on the planet to be farming, and the vast majority is already degraded beyond repair. What I've witnessed is through the use of some soil health principles that we follow, we can, without a huge cost and inputs in our field, we can create the microbiome in the soil that actually generates and provides the plants with what they need when they need it, allowing us to focus on other things. We're not sending our soil tests off to the lab and getting the rundown of how many pounds per acre of nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium we need to put down. What I've learned, there's nutrients in this soil. What lacks, though, is biology working. We look at the most productive systems on the planet, and there's forests, and there's no one there watering, no one's seeding, no one's weeding. It's allowed to go through its cycles. And there's animals involved, and there's insects and the fungus. I mean, it's amazing, and I still have so much to learn. When I started realizing that we can grow great food without having to be a chemist, and in doing so, we're now protecting our water system, our water source. We're not sending waste to our neighbors downriver. We're actually helping to pull carbon out of the air and keep it in the ground, which is a huge carbon sink that can really do a lot to help with the climate change that we're experiencing. And while I don't think it's a silver bullet, I think it's a very important part of a big puzzle. And it gets me so excited to be a part of a solution, however small that is. And it's real easy to wake up before the sun and to put on the work olakais and get after it. Or chacos when it's June.
You guys are great, thank you.
Cheers.
That's a wrap. I always wanted to say that.
For Dawn and Brian, I'm just so grateful that they stuck their necks out there and said, what the heck, I guess we'll just try this and see. As a small business owner, it gives me hope for a lot of small business owners because, oh my gosh, they are just such an inspiration. They just don't give up. To Dawn and Brian, I am so much more than grateful. All of them.
So I was thinking of how I would describe Dawn and Brian as friends through this farm, and really kindness and humility. Just so much love and kindness for the people they provide food for. They're amazing, and we love supporting them.
Yeah. Woo, 3 cheers.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to add that I just love Don and Brian so much. I would do anything for them. And being a part of their farm for the last 5 years has completely changed my whole worldview. I feel like I'm different because of them. Thank you, Don and Brian, for working your asses off.
I'll second that. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this. This is so cool.